Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Leslie, happy birthday to you. So it's a little late when this is going up because this tag was released on her birthday, but happy belated birthday, Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative. She is one of the best members of this community, so supportive of everyone, always commenting on everyone's videos, where she finds the time, I do not know. She participates in all of the readathons, all of the buddy reads. She's amazing, and honestly, BookTube would not be the same without her. And the Codex Cantina boys, Una and Crypto, they made a tag in honor of this great day, and I am going to participate. A, because they tagged me, and B, because I love Leslie. This tag was meant to highlight the diverse genres that Leslie always talks about on her channel. If you've never been there, her intro is always, "What up, nerds?" And she talks about books and she lists all the genres, and it used to just be fantasy and sci-fi, and then it was horror, and then we have manga, and then there's nonfiction. It's always ever evolving. Again, she's just amazing. So let's get into it. Number 1, science fiction. What is a futuristic or imaginative element in a book that you are glad is not real? So for me, I thought of Exhalation and Black Mirror when I thought of, I don't want perfect memory recall. This is a thing in a lot of like near future sci-fi where you could have these like implants in your eyes or something, like imagine a contact lens that could record your occurrences and then you could play back the scene. I don't want it. I don't want it. I already have like anxiety about like remembering a moment where I screw up. I don't need to watch that. I also don't want fights to devolve into, you forgot I asked you to do this. No, I didn't. And then we are gonna go look at the film. I don't want any of that. I'm not saying I guess I would hate if it existed, but I see more bad than good from that scenario. Number 2, horror. What has been the scariest moment for you while reading a book? I feel like I don't get very scared, mainly because I don't read scary books. But a moment that I did hate as a reader, I was like very stressed, was back in, I want to say 2010 or 11. It was like late 2010, early 2011. I was reading The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. And honestly, I'll be real, my first time reading it, I was very like, what is this book? I'd read everything else Sanderson wrote, but this was by far the slowest paced, and I was just like, where are we going? And by the end, I was so there. It was so cool. That ending, if you've read it, it's just like, blows your mind, reveals some stuff. And then I found out from my stepdad, who reads Wheel of Time, that Sanderson is finishing The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, which I'd heard of that series. I'd had many a friend try to get me to read it, and my stepdad always told me that I shouldn't. And I think he understands my reading taste. But I realized that, and at that point, Sanderson was writing about a book a year in the Cosmere, so it wasn't that bad. But then I looked on Sanderson's blog, and we weren't going to get another Stormlight book for a very long time, and I was so scared. I was just like, what? Like, the reveals, man, the reveals. So I think that was rough. I was so spoiled up to that point with Sanderson. I was just like, I used to get a book a year, and then I gotta wait for these other people to get their books, which, like, I'm happy for them. I'm pretty sure most people like the ending, for the most part. Obviously, it's a huge fan base. There's no universe in which everyone liked how that ended. I don't even have to go on Reddit to find out, but I avoid Wheel of Time internet because I'm reading the series and I don't need spoilers. 3, fantasy. What would you import from a fantasy world into your own world? So many things, but I think top of the list are either like animal companions that can talk or like demons from his Dark Materials. Like, I don't know, I think it'd be so cool. Like, I've always had a pet. So if my pet could talk to me, that'd be so cool. Like if we had like just like a mental link talk. I mean, they do yell at me. Like, I'm pretty sure my one cat's been yelling outside this door this whole time, whether you can hear him or not, because if you've had a pet, you know, if you close a door, suddenly they want to be in a place that they hadn't wanted to be for a really long time. But yeah, I've always loved animal companions ever since they were in books. So I think just adding more ability to communicate with my animal companions would be ideal. 4, comic and manga. What's a comic you enjoyed or one that you wanted to check out? I don't read many comic or manga, mainly because money. it's such an expensive genre to get into. Like, yes, there are ways to make it affordable, but it's time consuming, like, and it's expensive. But I have read Check Please, and I love it, and I need to read volume 2 so bad, but I keep saving it for a rainy day. And I know, Katie, I know I need to read it. It's so cute. It's like, it was a web comic, and so you can actually consume it for free online, but there also are paperback volumes, volume 1 and 2. And you follow Biddy, who goes to college and joins the college hockey team because he has like background in figure skating, and he has to learn how to play hockey and how aggressive that is. And it's very found family. There is romance. It's amazing. It makes you feel so good, and it's so funny. And as someone who also like enjoys hockey as a sport, it's also really good for that. Although I don't think you need to like hockey to appreciate it, because they even have little like hockey teach sections, and it's so good. Number 5, literary fiction and classics. What's a classic book that you've been meaning to get into but haven't yet? There aren't that many of these, mainly because I actually have read a lot of the classics that I've wanted to read, and because I prefer modern writing. Like, classic writing can be hard. But one that I did put on my 21 to read in 2021 is Solaris, I believe. So I do want to get to that. That's a sci-fi classic, I'm pretty sure. Also, the definition of a classic escapes me. I don't know what it means to be a classic. Like, I know for sure something's a classic if it came out in the 19th century, and there's some stuff that came out in the 20th century that are now considered classics. But if you came out in like 1990, are you a classic now? I do not know. I have no idea, because we talk about 90s fantasy a lot on BookTube, and people are always like, this classic, and I'm like, is it? Is that what it is? I feel like it's a very subjective term, and I don't understand it. But in general, I don't read too many backlist or classic books. I read some that catch my eye that I'm interested in, but I've been a modern fantasy and sci-fi reader since I started reading, and I really like the ideas. I like that we handle some things way better now that our culture is kind of grown and adjusted and become more accepting. Like, I don't know, one of my least favorite things is reading an older book and being like, that's an uncomfortable thing we've just done there. Okay, I get it. It was written in 1983. Okay, but you know, I hate doing that. It's not horrible, but it's not my favorite thing when I'm reading. Number 6, The Busy Bee. What book would you like to share with all your friends? All of the books. I think 2. I'll talk about 2 of my favorite reads so far this year in 2021. One is the new release, The Mask of Mirrors. This one's awesome. Also, the sequel, I have heard, comes out in November. Get on this. So good. And then my favorite book of the year so far, The Best of All Possible Worlds. This is so good. I do not know how people have been hiding this book from me. It's a really, really nice cultural focused sci-fi. It's very found family. You're following this team, explore cultures to try and basically put a displaced culture in their society so they can retain a lot of what makes them as a culture, but also, you know, be functionally a good part of that society. There's like a slow burn romance. It's really great. Also, Karen Lord is an amazing author with such a good authorial voice, in my opinion. So those would be the 2. I don't think it's going to stand. Is it going to stand? I think it's going to stand. Number 7, influencer. If you could have influenced an author to make a different decision in a book, what would it have been? Well, I have a lot of opinions for Robert Jordan, but I feel like I've been talking about that a lot lately because I just read Fires of Heaven. But basically, short story, I would ask him to stop doing important things off page and put more character interactions on page and let us see those beautiful transitions. Just let us, please. But another one that I have more of a gripe with, and maybe I won't on reread, but I own the Hyperion Cantos. So it has the Hyperion duology, and then it's got the Endymion duology, and all together it's the Hyperion Cantos. And it's, in theory, all one series. But this series retcons something in this series, and it makes me angry because it retcons the thing I find so cool in this series. And I'm like, but why, Dan Simmons? Why? Also, I think these ones are a little long for what they are. Maybe on reread I won't be as annoyed, but I just remembered that on a first read, I generally really enjoyed them, except for when they did this mini little retcon. I'm like, I don't understand how this works. Like, it got really sloppy. somewhere at the end of the second duology. So I think of them as 2 duologies, but I would just be like, but why? You didn't have to. It was already pretty good. Sort of thing. It's kind of like when you're consuming a show and all of a sudden you feel like there's fan service, but you don't understand the fan service. I feel like that's where I'm at with that one. Number 8, the birthday wish. What book do you want for your birthday? What book don't I want? No, I mean, I feel like I said this in a different tag video last year. It's like I don't actually ask for books that often, unless they're like really special edition books and they're expensive. So in that vein, there is a book that I just discovered like today. And I'm probably gonna get the ebook because that's like affordable. But there's a paperback or hardback and it's called El Tercer Mundo Después del Sol. So Third Planet from the Sun. I think that's the rough translation. And it's a Spanish short story collection based off South American fantasy and sci-fi written for middle grade and young adult. I think I can handle this. And it has such a cool cover. I think the actual like physical edition is like 20 some bucks before shipping. I don't know. I haven't done that much research yet, but right now, gifts are meant to not be rational, right? That one. I'm thinking about that one. And also, like, I just want all the Jen Williams books to be in stock. I keep waiting for both the second book and the third book to be in stock at the same time so I can buy them, even though I haven't even read Ninth Reign yet. Like, I might not even like it. Like, I'm hoping I will. But they keep being out of stock at other times. It's like, I don't want to buy them at separate times. I just want to buy them at the same time. Which maybe it doesn't matter, but that's just where I'm at. So if someone could get them in stock in the United States, like I feel like a publisher has dropped the ball. Like even if they just had ebook copies, they'd be making money, I assume. But those are, I guess, off the top of my head, what I was thinking. It would have also been this, but I bought this for myself. It was only $12 though, so it's not like I broke the bank. 9, the invite. Who are you inviting to your booktube party? Tag some friends to share cake with. All right. I got some people that the Codex Candida didn't tag. They're mostly people in our Malazan buddy read. And I think, actually, yeah, and then 2 people who I am pretty sure are pretty close friends with Leslie. At least I think I see them in her Discord, so. And if not, you should just do this tag anyways, because it's fun. So let's start with Evie from She Was Only Evie, and then Stephanie from Miss Richards Reads, Lena from A Sufficiently Advanced Lena, Kayla from Crack Into a Good Book, Abby Salter, and Jessie from The Bookish Mom. All of you are tagged. It's a fun one. And otherwise, if you made it this far, put down like birthday emojis, obviously. That's the obvious choice for this video. Can you tell it's the end of a day? I feel so chaotic right now. But otherwise, if you want to answer the tags, you can do it in the comments down below or go to my Discord and we can chat about it there. The Discord is a fun, chill place. We're all pretty happy to be chatting about books and life, and as long as you're respectful, you are welcome there. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.